Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Brothers-in-law. And on this channel, we discuss police-involved incidents that occur around the country, and we give our analysis on the police officers and their actions to see if their actions are what a reasonable officer would do. We also look at the actions of the citizens to see if they have followed our acronym of CALM, which stands for Comply, Answer Questions, Listen, and Move On, would their situation have turned out differently. Now, you may agree or disagree with us, but by the end of the video, it is our hope that you get a better understanding of how these incidents unfold. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Corey Taylor again, and I'm a former Virginia State Trooper with 7 years, and I'm a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. I see your viewers on there. Tone, I see you. Goat, I see you. Jesus loves you. I see you. What's going, Stacy? I see you, Stacy. Appreciate you guys joining us. I'm Mike Bradley. I'm the co-host. Let's see, I'm a retired 26-year police officer in Northern California in a city called Pleasanton. And I'm also a 6-year veteran, Army veteran. And like Corey was saying, what we do on this show is we're gonna show you some videos and give our critique of it and think whether what we saw is reasonable or not. So let's get into this.
Yeah, before we jump into the video, please go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button for us, and share this video out. Also, to remind everybody, head on over to the merch shop. We got a lot of t-shirts out there. We got another one on Brothers-in-law podcast. Mike got one that says Brothers-in-law with the police back the blue flag. Also, too, I have 2 coffee cups here that I'd like to give away to our viewers. If you can see it, it says Brothers-in-law, subscribe on one side, and the other side has the acronym Stay Calm on it. So if you like one, hit me on the Brothers-in-law inbox. Say, hey, Corey, I'd like to have a coffee mug. I got 2 of them to give away. So first 2 to hit me up on our Facebook page. I'll email them or email them to you and get them in the mail. 2 Brothers-in-law coffee cups to give away. So head on over to that merch shop. Again, everything that we get proceeds from that goes straight to the Brothers-in-law to help get our message out to other platforms of that nature, because we do truly believe that this is an acronym of CALM that needs to be taught in schools, at universities, at the kitchen tables, so that you stay safe during a traffic stop, because there's no reason why anybody should be ending up being hurt or killed, whether that's the officer or the citizen. So tonight, we're talking about tenant windows versus the police, the unnecessary use of force, or was it appropriate use of force? Mike, this occurred in Southern California, out on your coast, the West Coast. Yep. So, hey, we're talking about We're talking about whether or not the actions of this officer was what a reasonable officer would do. I'm not sure which video actually I'm gonna show here, Mike. Is one is 3 minutes and the other one's like 9 minutes, because that has some extra narratives in it. Breaks down some of your penal codes that you have out there, Mike. But I'm leaning towards a shorter one and just have you break that one down and give your insight. I give my insight. What went right, what went wrong on it. And we'd like for all our viewers to chime in too. Let us know what you think about this, and what are some of your tent laws in your states, and brush up on those laws if you're not familiar with them, so you know how to articulate yourself when you get stopped by the authorities, and ensure that you get through that stop peacefully. All right, so this occurred actually back in 2018, but the guy, the case was actually ended in I think November of 2019. Then he finally decided to upload the video a little later, but he was pulled over for a tent violation and also front license plate violation. And then we'll take it from there from the video. Mike, you got anything?
Just real quick, at least Well, we'll get into it when the video plays, but those are the specific reasons they used to stop him. But as you'll see in this video, it sounds like it might have been a little bit more to it as far as why they stopped him. One of the officers implies that someone had called the police on him, and unfortunately, they don't go into the details of what that was, but we're gonna look at it.
Yeah. You froze just a little bit there, Mike.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good now. All right, we're gonna go ahead and jump into it, y'all.
All right.
What's your cause of stopping me? Is what I want to know. You didn't even give me a cause. You said for your tent. I told you I got
that's
a ticket.
Cause to pull you over, right?
Okay.
Just because you.
Whoa. That's way. Whoa.
Let me back this up, y'all. I think I started a little ahead of myself.
All right.
What's your cause of stopping? I want to know. You didn't even give me a cause. You said for your tent. I told you I got
that's
a ticket.
Cause to pull you over, right?
Okay.
Just because you.
Whoa. That's way. Whoa. Are you serious?
Your fingers on the back of your head.
Okay, this is a shortened version.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try to do this low key.
Yeah, low key. Putting the gun to my head. Put the gun. You want to put the gun to my head, all right?
So that's the short version. So I think I actually am gonna go ahead and switch to the
because the longer one kind of shows.
The
longer one sets it up better as far as how the initial contact started. You know what I'm saying? The initial contact with the police started. And it got to that point, unfortunately. But we're gonna show we'll show
and it should
one
not
of the things. Well, we'll get into it when we play the video, but here we go.
I'm stopping you because you got no front plate. Your window tints too dark.
I actually got to fix a ticket for this one.
Did you?
It was 2 weeks ago. I got already by hostess.
You rolled down that window.
Hey, Mike, go ahead and explain real quick what a fix a ticket is.
A fix a ticket is like if you get pulled. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Am I freezing up?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
A fix a ticket is like if you get pulled over for like say a mechanical violation, like your brake lights out or your headlights out or something like that. A fix ticket is what you get from the police officer. It's a ticket. It's a regular ticket that you write, and what happens is when it goes through the courts, you have a certain amount of time to get that mechanical violation fixed. Okay. And then once you get it fixed, that's the end of it. So that's the whole purpose of a ticket of what they call a fix a ticket is so that you can take care of the
30 days
violation. Yeah. And you got like 30 days to get it taken care of. But one thing I will say, and I ran into this a lot when I pull people over, is if you do get a ticket for a mechanical violation and you haven't gotten that mechanical violation fixed yet, it's always a good idea to keep that ticket in the car with you. So if you get pulled over again, you can show the officer that you got a ticket for that already. Because if you don't have that on you, I have to now in a position where either I'm going to take your word for it or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you got a ticket just because you told me you got a ticket. You could be telling me that just so I don't write you a ticket, period. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. But if you got the ticket with you and you show me that you got a ticket for that violation already, I'm not going to write you another ticket on top of that. You see what I'm saying? Because you got 30 days to get it fixed. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a fix-it ticket basically is. Unlike a red light violation, or a stop sign violation, those aren't fix-it tickets. Those are traffic violations that you got to pay a fine for.
Right. So this he has a time limit to get done, and as long as he's got it fixed within then, I think what I read is then they go to court and it gets taken care of or dismissed in court. So I guess good. Yeah,
you might have to pay a little small administrative fee or something like that. But other than that, it gets it's not something that stays on your driving record, let's say. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You get it. It's a mechanical violation. You know, everybody don't know they got a brake light out, so we're gonna give you an opportunity to fix your brake light out. That's all.
Right. Oh,
Did it froze up on us? Can you hear me, Corey?
yeah.
Oh, okay. The video's not playing on my end.
Oh, hold on. That's my play. I'm playing the wrong one.
Oh, okay.
That's my bad, y'all. I had to play the wrong one. I got two different videos. Hold on.
Okay. The video was
like,
sitting there, it wasn't playing in a minute. I was like, oh. Hey, Mr. Taylor, I see you.
Why you hear me? I'm like, oh, my bad, y'all.
Is that Georgia Gucci? Geechee, Gucci? Which one is it? Is that that's a new viewer?
All right, here we go.
All right.
Yeah, I got it now, y'all. We good.
Okay.
The tint already?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to fix the ticket for the window tint
I got a fixed ticket for that too, also,
and the front plate.
and which is not due until I don't know. I got to take that down. So.
Mr. Ornelas informs the officers that he has already been cited for the violations he's being stopped for and was issued a fix-it ticket. Under Section 4610 of the California Vehicle Code, when a citizen is pulled over for an offense that is correctable, such as a mechanical requirement, no
Sorry about that, folks. We have some technical difficulties with the video here.
infraction. On its own, Mr. Ornelas' statement that he had been issued a fix-it ticket was likely insufficient to dispel the officer's suspicions that he had violated the traffic code. And even if it was, a court would likely conclude that the officers were still within their authority to run certain checks related to their duty of ensuring that vehicles on the road are operated safely.
And that's what you were saying right there, Mike. Is in that time frame they got that time to get it straight. But be advised, everyone. This is California we're talking about. This is not everywhere across the country. So I highly encourage you to find out. Hey, do you guys have something like that where you're from? Here in Virginia, I'm gonna tell you, no, we don't. If I were to stop you for a tint violation, I'm writing you a ticket, or what we call Virginia uniform summons, on the spot for the tint violation. And then you go to court. All you have to do is show that it's been removed, and then the judge will. I won't say the judge may or may not still dismiss that charge, and then you just end up paying the court cost fee. So check that out wherever you're from.
Yeah.
And also, while we're on tint, understand tint is aftermarket. So if the car wasn't like that when it left the assembly line, it's not part of the what is it called, Mike? The federal
the Department of Transportation standards, basically, of what your tint is supposed to be on your window.
Yeah.
Rule of thumb for me, when I pulled people over for window tint, that was a common question that they would ask. Well, how dark is too dark? Basically, folks, like Corey was saying, if you put some tint on there after the manufacturer's thing, that's too much. Look at the patrol window of a patrol car, a police car. The front windows, that's as dark as you can have it. You can't have it any darker than that. So if you got window tint, and now this is California, that's not the same across the country. There's some states that you can have tint. Like I think Arizona is one of those places where you can have window tint, dark window tint on the front windows. And I could be wrong on that, but check with your laws in your local state. But in California, you can only have the back window and the back driver's side and back passenger side window tinted. You cannot have the front windshield tinted, and you can't have the front passenger and front driver's side tinted. There is a level of tint on all car windows now, but keep in mind, you can only have it as dark as it came from the manufacturers. So if you put some aftermarket stuff on there that makes it real dark, that you can't do that in California. You get pulled over for that. And you got to have a front license plate in California. You got to have both front and back license plates.
And keep in mind, even though you take your vehicle somewhere to get it tinted, your windshield's tinted darker, doesn't make it right. You can't go to court and say, well, you know, I bought it at the store, so it must be all right. Now you can buy a drug paraphernalia at a store that's still not, you know, not legal, right?
Right.
They sell it to make money, right? So just keep that in mind. Also, here in Virginia, since we're still on tint, I can write you a summons even though your vehicle is out of state. So for example,
that's a good point.
Yeah, we can write you here. So we have a list, and I should have brought it up here with me. I still have my list of all the states and what their legal tint limits are. And so I would ride a lot of guys from Florida, because Florida, you can have what we call limousine tint. You can just have them, you know, blacked out. Well, you can't do that here. When you come into Virginia, it don't matter. I can stop you right, because as an officer, I have to be able to see inside that vehicle, at least see the driver in the front passenger, be able to see you. So keep that in mind. If you're traveling through Virginia and you got dark tinted windows, there's a good chance you could probably get stopped for that tint. And yeah, you will get a Virginia uniform summons or a ticket for that. So be careful coming through Virginia. Virginia don't play.
So for those of us, hey, Delando, I see you on here. For those of us just joining us, we showing a video. A traffic stop was made. Gentleman was pulled over. The violations that they pulled him over for was window tint and no front license plate. And we're about to continue to show you how that interaction with police for these reasons goes. How that went.
Yeah. People ride around Brenda. Yeah, people ride around Virginia with tint all the time, but that doesn't mean it's right. And also, too, here in Virginia, that is not I don't think it's a primary offense anymore for tint violation. I think they made it a secondary offense. So I have to double check that again, and I'll post that on our Facebook page. But I believe it's a secondary offense now. Used to be primary, but not anymore. I think they as a couple years ago. So also keep that in mind too, as well, from wherever you're from across the country. All right, we're gonna jump back into this now, y'all.
Responsibly. Here, a court would most likely find that the officers had reasonable suspicion to stop Mr. Ornelas due to the tinting issue and the missing license plate, as they were not aware that the fix-it ticket had been issued at the time of the stop. Similarly, a court would probably conclude that the officers did not exceed the scope of their authority by detaining Mr. Ornelas while they ran warrant checks and conducted other routine traffic stop tasks.
All right, you have your driver's license on you, sir?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just take your name for a second. All right, you have a valid driver's license.
Yeah, everything, insurance good, registered.
Okay.
All that, so.
Probation, parole, anything like that? Nothing? Yeah. Okay. You do the registered owner of the car?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sit tight for me, okay? I'll be right back.
We were hailed by a citizen regarding your car. Why would a citizen have hailed us?
For my car?
Yeah.
I mean, whatever y'all got going on, you feel me? I don't know nothing about that.
We were doing something completely else. And somebody took time out of their day, took them over and flagged us down regarding you.
Me?
Regarding you.
No, this is a registered firearm. Yeah, Smith & Weston. this is also, you know, got business under my name.
Just go ahead and keep your hands on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Okay, pause it right there, Corey.
Okay,
yeah, I just saw Gross hit.
Okay.
Right. I didn't get that.
All right, hold on.
He says he's not.
Go ahead.
So, okay, up to this point, you know, you heard that female officer say she was implying that somebody called the cops on him for something unrelated to tinted windows and front license plate. But she didn't expand on that. She didn't explain what that was about. For me,
No.
I'd want to do that because I want you to know why I'm stopping you, not just for this tint and for these plates, but somebody called the cops and said you were, I would assume, said he was doing something illegal or something like that. I need to know that. You know what I'm saying? I need to know up front because I as an officer, I would explain to that driver, this is what somebody reported you as doing. So he understands why I'm asking these kinds of questions. What you think?
I think she had very limited information, and with that limited information, she should have just kept her mouth shut and not try to stir the pot, if you will. My biggest issue thus far is starting right now, and it's with her. First of all, this is not your stop. You're not the primary, so I don't need you running your mouth. If it's my stop, let me do all the talking, and that's how we rode here. Like if it's my stop, I'm not asking you to question, to get involved. You know, you just are secondary. Right? You just watch for safety. If I need you to get engaged, if I need you to ask questions, I'll ask you, hey, ask him this. That's how we used to roll. Can you hear me?
Okay, you froze up for a minute there. That's how you guys used to roll. I caught that.
Yeah. And so for me, at this point, I think she would have been better off just keeping her mouth shut, not saying anything. Because you don't have enough information. You already told them what the reason was. The reason was for the license plate and the tent. So, you know, now word is this. Well, somebody said that your vehicles was reporting something or did something. I mean, it's so vague. I mean, I don't even, why would you even mention that? It's just.
Well, I hear what you're saying. Her job sounds like it was the cover officer. If there was something more to this story and I'm the initiating officer, I would assume that my cover officer is going to tell me, hey, this vehicle was reported, because this happens all the time. You know, this vehicle was reported as suspicious in the area, or it was reported as doing burnouts in the area or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to know that but that's what I'm saying. We don't know what she told the initial officer because it's not on camera, but I would assume that she did that. But if you're going, like you said a bit ago, if you're going to say that to the driver, well, then let's put our cards all out on the table. I want to know, I'm going to tell this driver, in addition to these violations, someone called the police and reported you as doing such and such and such and such. That way it puts this driver on notice that, okay, I understand that there's a little bit more to this. Okay. So, you know, be up front.
Because with information like that, now, if I were him, I would think now at this point, you just trying to mess with me. You trying to see what I'm gonna say. You trying to stir things up, like, lady. All right, and, you know, and you can tell as we move forward here in his voice a little bit, like, yeah, you full of crap. You ain't whatever. You ain't seen me doing nothing. Like, I don't think I would never say anything if I wasn't 100% sure of something. I would never mention it because that can always come back and bite you in your hind parts. So when you disseminate information, you want to make sure you got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed before you go and deliver, you know, something like this, because you don't know how that individual is going to take it. You see what I'm saying?
But all I'm saying is, up to this point, there seems to be more to this story. That's all I'm saying. There seems to be more to the story. And I wish this female officer would have come right. You look, you gonna mention that to him. Come out and say what it was they said he was doing. Okay. Maybe there's a reason why they decided to search his car, as you will see. They decided to search his car for this firearm that he had in his trunk. Maybe this call for service is what it was before it was a regular traffic stop.
Are you saying, and they could have used the license plate and the tint as a reason to
pretextual stop? Pretext stop. That's right. That's right.
Now we've done those.
Right.
Which
I understand they're trying to make that not legal, but it's my understanding and correct me, viewers, if you guys know anything different or research anything different, let me know. But I'm pretty sure pretextual stops are still legal. Basically, it means I'm going to find a reason to stop you to investigate something that may be unrelated to the reason that I'm stopping you. Like you were seen leaving a drug house, okay? And I see you leaving a drug house, and you might have drugs on you, but I see you have no front license plate or your brake lights out or whatever it is. So I pull you over based on the brake light out. You know what I'm saying? But my motive here is not just the brake light. It's to see what I can find out why you leaving this drug house. And folks, that's normal police work. Okay. Don't think that police are not supposed to dig. Police have to look for crimes. Okay. That's in general. Okay. People that we stop are not going to say, hey, officer, by the way, I have a warrant, or by the way, I have drugs in the car, or whatever it is they might be doing or may not be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they ain't gonna offer up any additional information.
Right. So it's normal for police, as we have said on the show before, it's normal for police to be investigative, if you will, on traffic stops. But I just have a problem with, okay, this woman is saying that somebody called the police on him, but she's not elaborating. She's not saying what is what. That would add some context to this contact, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and especially for the citizen, you got to give them something. That's, again, this is where I start having a little issue with it, because in today's time, you know, when officers go and conduct these stops, you got to be very informative to provide that citizen with as much information as necessary, because people's tempers are so short now, and they're so quick to go off, and now you're on a whole different, you know, level now, you know, if you'd have just provided a little more information, you know, the whole situation could have went a different way. Now it's gone south. Now you got to go hands on with the citizen. Now, you know, you're fighting and they're going for your weapon. Next thing, somebody gets shot, hurt, or killed. All because you didn't provide enough information. Just take the time and say, hey, like you said, Mike, hey, there's been a report in the area that this vehicle was doing X, Y, and Z. We're not saying that's you, but a citizen had mentioned to us as we was conducting this stop that it appeared that this vehicle might have been. Now, you know, I'm not sure what type of car he had, but you know, if it was a Dodge,
it was a Camaro, looked like it was a Camaro.
Or for this example here, I use a Dodge Charger. Here in the Hampton Roads area, there's 50 million Dodge Chargers, right? How would you know which one? All right, and how many gray Dodge Chargers are in this area, and how many of these gray Dodge Chargers had the same type of rims, right? If I didn't have a plate number or something to go off of, instead of just saying, hey, your vehicle, the citizen said that your vehicle was involved in something. I mean, how can you put that vehicle in that situation or on location at wherever this incident was supposed to have occurred, and you don't have, you know, make, model, color, tag number, or partial tag number? Give me something so I can tell this individual, you know, what the underlying reason is for why we're stopping you. And she didn't.
I hear you. I hear you. But let's assume that they got the right vehicle. So whoever called, we're going to assume for the sake of discussion on this video that they pulled over the person that they wanted to pull over. You know what I'm saying? Whether he was involved in something else, what that someone reported him as, we don't know. But my point is, what's the secrecy? If you're going to say that, if you're going to tell the driver that, look, why would somebody take the time out to call for police about you? Well, what did they say he was doing? Say that. You know what I'm saying? There's no need for secrecy right here. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know someone called the police and said you were A, B, and C. Okay? So that if it goes to court, I can be very clear that I stopped him for the mechanical violations, but he was also reported as doing A, B, C, and D. And I informed him of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand in this case what the secrecy is for. Why was this female officer kind of, vague about of course he gonna have that response. I don't know what y'all talking about. Okay, I'm just on my way here. I don't know nothing about somebody calling the police. So let's just get this going. I can understand that response.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I don't have a problem with his response. Because because of her questioning, that's the response or reaction she was gonna get. You see what I'm saying? All right. So for time's sake, we're gonna keep it moving, Mike.
All right.
Where's it at?
It's in the trunk.
It's in the trunk.
He's telling me he's got a firearm in the trunk. In California, that's legal to carry your firearm locked in the trunk from point A to point B.
Officer Stambaugh asks to speak with the other responding officer and tells him that she feels unsafe because of the potential presence of a firearm in the vehicle and Mr. Ornelas' alleged nervous behavior. Although reasonable suspicion is not required for an officer to order...
I'm going to stop it right there, Mike, and say, that's my second problem with her. Why are you afraid? Why are you feeling uneasy and the weapon is in the trunk?
This is what I'm saying. Is there something more to this stop that she said, but she ain't saying what it is? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to knock if an officer feels that there's a safety issue at the time they're making contact with someone. I'm not going to knock that feeling. Maybe I would feel unsafe. Maybe I wouldn't. Just by the fact that he said he had a firearm and locked in the trunk, no. Why would I be afraid of that?
But
that's legal.
Mike, we've done enough stops, right? Where the weapon is in the glove compartment, or heck, it may even be on that person. Now, if it's on that person, if I can't see it and I know you ain't supposed to have the gun, yeah, I feel uneasy.
Oh, that's a different story. That's a different story.
That's a different story. Now, you telling me it's in the trunk, locked up, you in the front seat. The keys are up here in the front. You don't have access to that. Why are you afraid? Why are you
at
afraid?
This point, I don't see that either. I don't see the elevated response by these officers at this time. I don't see that. But keep in mind, I'm saying that assuming that we don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look
right now.
I mean, this guy ain't showing me something that looks dangerous or it looks like he is up to no good.
I'm not getting any red flags. Let me ask the viewers: are y'all seeing any red flags from this gentleman thus far that would raise a level of suspicion to you where you feel at this point a little uneasy? I don't. I think she's overreacting, in my humble opinion, and having done hundreds of traffic stops with people with weapons. And hey, if it's locked up, cool. I don't get any red flags that were, I would not have to believe he's not telling me, the truth. Right.
I don't get that right now. I don't even.
Now, if he was fidgeting around and he kept trying to move stuff and not
that's different.
Not being calm, right? Remember our acronym called comply, answer question. Right now, acronym, according to the acronym, he's doing everything thus far correctly. He's complying.
Yeah.
Right? She said, keep your hands on the steering wheel. We know you got a weapon. He's answering their questions. Yep. I just got the fix it ticket.
You froze up a little bit there, Corey.
Okay. We good now?
I hear you when you say you good. Yeah, you good. We good. Good.
Okay. You know, so thus far with the acronym CALM, he's doing everything accordingly that we ask when we talk about the acronym CALM, right?
I would agree.
So even though he's still doing what he's doing, now you got this officer feeling a little uneasy, and I don't see it there.
And again, we don't see it, Corey. But again, I'm not going to.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not. In other words, I'm not going to blame the officer because she feels unsafe. Okay, it's her actions though that what takes place. We're gonna see what caused her to do the things she's doing, and we're gonna see that right now.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Happened that caused it.
An individual out of a vehicle during a lawful traffic stop, courts have often held that nervous or evasive behavior can contribute to reasonable suspicion in other circumstances. In this situation, it is
froze up on
unclear with the way he was treated. He did not manifest any sort of fear or anxiety. Still, even if his behavior could be interpreted as nervous, given the fact that even extreme nervousness on its own does not authorize an officer to extend a traffic stop, a court would almost certainly rule that reasonable suspicion did not exist if the issue became relevant to this encounter.
All right, sir. Hey, just because you got a firearm in the car, okay, we're just going to do this the safe way, okay? So, what I need you to do, can you undo your seatbelt for me?
Okay, supervisor.
What? You can talk.
Sir, I would like a supervisor. Can you call him? Can you call him on your radio? He's not trying to call his supervisor on the radio. I'm a citizen too, bro. Okay. It's like, and you work for public and safety. You're doing your job. What's your cause? What's your cause of stopping me? Is what I want to know. You didn't.
As Mr. Ornelas is voicing his objections to the traffic stop, Officer Stambaugh removes her duty weapon from its holster and points it directly at Mr. Ornelas' head. Under Section 835A of the California Penal Code, quote, any peace officer who has reasonable cause to believe that the person to be arrested has committed a public offense may use force to affect the arrest to prevent its use of force policy, which is based upon Section 835A, pointing of a firearm at a person is considered to be a use of force. And the policy states that, quote, when feasible, peace officers shall attempt to de-escalate situations. However, Section L of the policy clarifies that, quote, nothing in this policy shall preclude a peace officer from drawing of a firearm when the officer reasonably believes it necessary for the safety of the officer or another. Here, Officer Stambaugh's actions are in clear violation of the department's use of force policy and California law. Mr. Ornelas was not being arrested, and his verbal opposition to the traffic.
I do have a problem when he says she's in clear violation. Well, you can't really say that because she's got to be able to articulate why she drew that gun. I don't hear her articulation for that. So I'm not going to jump the gun and say she was in clear violation. Per the department policy, basically, an officer can draw their firearm if they feel it's necessary to do so. And then they have to explain that. You know what I'm saying? Why they felt it was necessary to do so. This commentator is assuming that she was automatically in violation of their department policy simply by drawing her firearm and pointing at it. Now, I don't agree with her pointing at him, but then again, we're saying that because we don't see any information on here that shows me as a prior officer my reason for wanting to draw down on this guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't see anything like that in this video. But we don't know what she knows. You know what I'm saying? So I can't just outrightly say, Well, she's in violation of her department policy because she drew her firearm on the individual. I don't think I would have done it under these circumstances. No, I wouldn't have. But again, is there something that we're missing here? She came out and said somebody called the cops on him, Corey. Well, what did they call the cops on him for? She never went into that. You know what I'm saying? Not that she has to, but it certainly would be helpful in her case.
Well, yeah, it definitely would be helpful because now you put this young man in a certain situation where you're not going to get the type of reaction from him that you're wanting, so you can properly detain him, right? You basically you're saying you're afraid of what? Afraid
yeah, you got to articulate
is
that.
my question. Now,
you got to
the
articulate
thing
that.
right, she's got to articulate that. Now, the point where I see in his defense, the citizens, okay, now you're asking him to get out the car, and now he's saying, well, before I get out the car, I want you to call a supervisor. Well, at that point, now the supervisor will come out, but you coming out this car first. Keep that in mind, folks. Now at this point is not the time to get in a pissing contest of no, I ain't getting out. Yes, you are getting out. No, I ain't getting out. Yes, you are getting out. And then you're forcing that officer to go in. Now, again, if you know you haven't done anything wrong, which in this case, this young man hasn't done anything wrong, hey, instead of taking it to the next level to amp them up, or she already drew her gun out at you, right? At this point, let's just, hey, all right, it is what it is right now. I'm going to get out the car, but you're calling that supervisor down here. And once they get you out, and if they're going to detain you, let them put you in handcuffs. Again, you're building your case right now for that lawsuit. If you feel that this is an unjust stop and an unjust arrest or detention, you're building your case. So it will behoove you to comply and keep it going like this young man did here. All right, because it might, sometimes we see eye to eye, sometimes we don't. I don't think it was necessary for her to draw the weapon out on him like that. Eventually, you could have talked him out. I think he seemed like a reasonable kind of guy, citizen, that you probably could have coerced him out of that car. Hey, look, all right, well, why not go ahead and call the sergeant first? Hey, not a problem. Hold on. Hey, sorry, we need a sergeant down here on scene. Blah, blah, boom. I guarantee he would have got out that car then.
I hear what you're saying, and I agree with everything you're saying. Folks, just because you ask for a supervisor doesn't mean you wait to follow instructions until the supervisor gets there. No, you have to comply, period. We always say that. Supervisor or not, you got to comply. You don't have the authority to say, well, I'm not going to do anything you tell me until I see a supervisor. That supervisor may not be able to make it out on the scene at that time. That supervisor might be tied up doing something else where it might be a couple hours before they're even free. Okay. You have to still comply. Now, I say that to say this. Okay. What I'm confused on is why did they need him? What were they going to do? Search his car because he had a firearm in the trunk? I don't understand why they chose to search his car or search him by pulling him out of the vehicle. That tells me that there's more to this story than what we're seeing on this video. How did a simple tinted window, no front license plate, how did that turn into I'm pulling you out of the car because you have a firearm in the trunk? I assume they searched his car for what? What did they search his car?
Well, she said it because she felt uneasy because there was a weapon in the car. That's what she said.
That's not probable cause to search his car involuntarily.
That's my whole point. So what are you afraid of? He's not giving you any indications for you to be afraid. That's my whole problem right there. Why are you pulling him out? Okay, at that point, because remember, she went back to hey, let me talk to you. She went, let's go back here and talk. Hey, I'm a little uneasy. He seems a little nervous. and I'm feeling a little easy because there's a weapon in the car. Well, a lady is locked in the trunk.
It's locked in the trunk.
Uneasy hot. He went along with her. You know, he was in total control of the whole situation. He could have just said, "Okay, all right, we'll handle that." But to go right in and pull him out to render the weapon safe. The weapon is safe. It's in the trunk.
Yeah, it's locked in the trunk.
Right.
I hear you.
Trunk.
I hear you. And I agree. I don't see how. I'm trying to figure out what part of this story are we missing here that caused these officers to go the extra step, remove him from the car, search his car. Okay. I don't think he got arrested. I think he might have got a ticket for the mechanical violations. Ultimately, I don't believe he got arrested for anything. I don't believe he got arrested for anything, but I just don't understand how we went from these violations to you need to get out of the car, we're going to search your car. What happened before that? You know what I'm saying? That we don't see. Why did that officer say somebody called the cops on you because you were doing something? Well, what is that something? You know what I'm saying? Those things for me don't add up. But you know what, Corey?
But then that's her fault when she mentioned that they got a call that this vehicle was involved in something or doing something. She should have disclosed that to him. Okay, so what was it that you're saying that my vehicle was involved in? Because I can assure you, my vehicle wasn't involved in something.
Right.
Right.
Perhaps
so
I agree.
So to me, that's just saying I agree with Jesus loves you. I think she's just blowing smoke, just trying to see if there's something there. Right. And then after that, you get the, hey, she asks, is there any weapons in the vehicle? Yeah, I have a gun and it's locked up in the trunk. And that's when she goes haywire. Then, he's got a gun in the truck, and he's acting kind of nervous. How? What signs did you see? So I don't think there was anything. I think this was all BS, in my opinion, Mike. That now she went so too far, she can't pull herself back out of the shit storm she didn't got herself into. And that's
what we've
how I
seen on this video up to this point. I simply don't see any reason. I don't see what caused them to say, okay, you need to step. Not that they can't legally have you step out of your car. Of course they can. I still want to know what made these officers elevated to the point where somebody's now drawing guns on the driver, pulling him out of the car and searching his vehicle. We don't know that.
Because like she said, she was nervous because he had a gun.
I know, but based on this video, her being afraid, unsafe, is not probable cause to search someone's vehicle without their consent.
I understand.
So that's an illegal search. That's an illegal search.
So which is why, according to this article I read, the case was thrown out. And they still never gave no reason as to what the car was allegedly involved in. So I'm going based off the article that I read, which was out of the Sacramento CBS News Sacramento website. Is simply saying that there was no reasoning for her to have done it, according to his attorney, that was an illegal search. But the sheriff of that city was saying that, hey, the officers didn't do anything wrong. They follow proper procedure. I'm like, well, you had no reason to search the car, and they never really did say if they arrested him or anything. I didn't get that.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I think we just gave him a ticket. I don't think they arrested him ultimately.
Right.
I don't think they arrested him.
Oh, well, I mean, arrested him on what? For
Well,
intent?
see that
No,
we keep saying what because we don't know. What we keep speculating, but
well,
that
let me
piece of information is
let me see.
missing from this video. When that lady said someone called the cops and says you were doing something unrelated to this windshield and this license plate. Well, what is that? That would help out a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, I don't see any reason why these officers would draw their firearm on this individual. I don't see any reasons why these officers decide to search his vehicle.
Right.
I don't see any reason for that.
Okay, so he it said according to the laws require them to actually book him for driving a car on a public highway without a driver's license or any identification in its place. This is according to the sheriff.
Okay. I didn't know that on this video that he didn't have a license. When did that come out?
Well, hold on. Remember in the beginning of the video, they asked him for it. He said it was in his book bag in the back or something like that. So he gave him the name, date of birth, social security. So he was able to verify. But when the officer came back, I don't think he ever had the time, or he never mentioned, hey, you don't have a valid license. Maybe that came.
Pause. Right. Okay, folks. If you drive in California, anyway, if you driving without a license, the officer can tow your car. At which point, if I'm going to tow your car, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do what is called an inventory search of the vehicle. Okay. That would make sense, Corey. If he was unlicensed and didn't have a valid license, that would explain why they were pulling him out of the car and why they were searching his car, because they were getting ready to tow his car. Okay. But you don't have a valid license. You shouldn't be driving in the first place. And that's it. But it still doesn't explain why that female officer decided to draw weapons on him. I don't see that. I don't see that.
Gun. It still was right. So it's the same thing here in Virginia, but I'm going to tow your vehicle, and if you just don't have a valid license, I'm going to release you on a summons or on a ticket, and for you to appear in court. Now your vehicle will get towed, or if you're nice, polite, and cooperative with me, I may allow you to have somebody come get that vehicle, and I'm going to verify their license when they get here that they have a valid license. So that is an option. But our policy is you will tow that vehicle. You're supposed to tow that vehicle if they're not a licensed driver, or that vehicle is not properly registered. We have to tow it. And like you said, Mike, we also too will do an inventory of the vehicle and put a copy of that inventory sheet in the vehicle, and also turn one in to our office. So that makes sense of why they're trying to pull him out of the car. But again, it does not justify, in my humble opinion, doesn't justify the officer pulling out her service weapon on this individual. If you're that nervous, if you're that nervous, then she might want to go find another profession. Because here in Virginia, doggone, you gonna always run into somebody who's got a gun in their vehicle.
Here's what I think happened. I think this was a pretextual stop. I think that this vehicle was involved in something else that caused these officers to draw the attention, to draw their attention towards this vehicle. That female officer said somebody pointed him out and said he was doing whatever. Who knows? She don't say that, but that was a pretextual stop. They looked for reasons to stop him, and they found it. He had tinted windows and no front license plate. I don't have a problem with that up front, up to that point. I don't have a problem with that. Problem. Okay, no problem with that. Okay, I pulled you over for this. My problems, like you say, started when she comes up and she's vague about the fact that somebody called the police on it. I would say that because I want to know that. I want that on video. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. And I think they realized, they found out, did a records check on the traffic stop, confirmed that he didn't have a license. That caused them to pull him out of the car and search his vehicle because he didn't have a license. They're going to tow the vehicle, do an inventory search. Okay. And because he had a firearm in the trunk, well, they ain't going to let him just get up and go get his firearm and go on about the business. Not that way. They may keep his firearm and have him retrieve it from the police station, or they may give it to him some other way that maintains safety. Okay, it's just not safe if I'm gonna pull you over, not knowing all the reasons why they pulled him over, other than the mechanical violations. Okay, that I'm going to safely return your firearm to you at some point. Okay, and I think that's what happened here. You know, one thing, I know we running on time pretty good much, but what we want to stress is this driver, no matter what, he followed that CALM acronym to a T. He complied, he answered questions, he listened to any instructions or anything, and he eventually was able to move on with the ticket or whatever it was he got, okay? But he didn't get hurt or anything like that, physically hurt or anything like that. And we encourage you, that's how you're supposed to behave. You might have questions about, can they do this or can they do that? But he complied and did the CALM acronym so well, whatever issues he had with these police officers, he took it up in court with his attorney and sued them, okay? That's how you do it, folks. We don't fight and not comply on the street. The only time he had a little bit of question there, Corey, was he was almost insistent on seeing the supervisor as if he wasn't going to do anything else until the supervisor came. You can't do that, folks. You don't want to, you can request to see the supervisor, but
request the supervisor all day.
But you still need to comply.
Go through what there's right. Still go and comply. And when we say comply, that's not saying, you know, being submissive or bowing down to authority. That now, whereas you just listen to what they're telling you to do, to do not do not provoke any harm to be done to you. So you got to comply. You got to listen to what they're telling you to do. You got to answer the questions. You don't have to answer the question, but if it's a common question, hey, where you headed? Hey, you know, why is this? Hey, you know, you tell that general conversation type stuff. But, you know, obviously, yes, you don't have to talk to them if you feel like that conversation is going to incriminate you. No, you don't have to answer any of their questions. But and be able to listen.
Tone makes a good comment too. He says, was he going to be arrested? He made this a bit ago, but I want to read it real quick. The policy states the officer can draw their weapons if you're arresting them, not detaining them. That's kind of misleading there, Tone. If I'm an officer and I'm on the street, if I personally feel that it's a situation where I need to pull my firearm out, there's nothing that tells me in an apartment policy that says you cannot pull your firearm out under their situation. As long as I can articulate my reasoning for doing so, okay, I'm good. So, and that's because we don't want to tie officers' hands behind their back and have a hard, fast rule and say you can only draw your firearm in this circumstance or that circumstance. That's unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? So that's misleading. I'm sure their department policy also doesn't prohibit an officer from drawing their firearm if they feel they need to, as long as they can articulate why they felt they needed to. That's all.
Yeah. So, hey, good conversation tonight, everybody. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up for tonight. We want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I enjoyed your comments, and I hope you all had a great resurrection weekend, and it was blessed, and you got to spend time with friends and family, and didn't eat too much like I did. Woo! But all in all, we had a great weekend. So again, if you see something out there that you like Mike and I to give you guys our opinion on, please email us over on our Facebook page. and we'll get it on the show and break it down. Remember to share the acronym CALM out there. And also, last but not least, or no, it's not really last, but hey, if you'd like to have a free coffee cup that says Brothas-in-law with the subscribe button on it with the acronym Stay Calm on the other side, email me on the other side. I got 2 here to give away. So when we got to go over there and take a look at it, whoever the first one's on there, boop, boop, I'm gonna hook you up and send you a coffee mug. So if you like one, hit us up, or go over to the merch shop and purchase one. That'll help us out as well. Mike, any last words?
No, everybody enjoy your weekend coming up, and stay safe. Peace.
All right, y'all. God bless you. And for the haters out there, we love you. Come join the show. We love to have a conversation with you. Until next week, y'all be blessed, and we love y'all.
See ya.